Hello, I'm B-Sox from the Morning Moose Show here on Lazer 103.3, and this handsome piece of man beside me is the music director and afternoon person for Lazer. His name, Andy Hall. Welcome, Andy. How are you?
Great. This is exciting. It's bowl season. I love it.
And it's YouTube. Ooh, YouTube as I hit my mic. Go ahead, man.
Well, what we're doing here is we've basically broken this down into three segments. The first of three will be highlighting our local teams, both of which got bowl invitations this year, so we're pretty excited about that.
And surprised.
Iowa Hawkeyes in a BCS Bowl in the Orange, taking on Georgia Tech, and that's on January 5th. A matchup between number 9 and number 10 in the country, and of course the Iowa State Cyclones, who surprised a lot of people this year under first-year head coach Rhodes.
Paul Rhodes.
And taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in the Insight Bowl on New Year's Eve.
6-6 for them on there. We'll get to that in a second.
Pretty incredible.
Well, let's start with the BCS and the Iowa Hawkeyes.
You wore the colors today.
Yeah, I did. I had to. I couldn't help myself, man.
Very
It's
nice.
college football bowl talk, and it's like, who am I going to be going for in this? So, as you said, Iowa taking on Georgia Tech in the BCS Bowl down, the Orange Bowl in the BCS down in Florida, and this is a very interesting matchup.
I like the fact that they're back in the Orange. Hawkeye fans have memories, bad memories mostly, of the USC trouncing a few years back.
We don't talk about that, but you know what? I think that is one of the major points of this bowl, because if I'm Kirk Ferentz, I've had a bad taste in my mouth, and your one appearance in a BCS game was that trouncing from USC a couple years ago, and I think this is a big deal for him going to this bowl and being better than where they were last time.
I think USC a much different kind of juggernaut than a Georgia Tech is. Georgia Tech, obviously, an offensive juggernaut of the triple option type, and I mean this team is unbelievable offensively this year. 11th in the nation, averaging over 440 yards a game. Taking on that Iowa defense, that bend but don't break. What do you think Norm Parker's going to do?
I think this game, of all the games that Iowa's played this year, if Iowa's defense wins this game, wins this battle between their offense, I think they have a pretty good chance of winning. And the biggest part of this, you know what? They put up 307 yards of rushing during a game. If they shut that down, they don't have a very good passing game, man.
They
really
don't. And the strength of their passing game is the fact that their quarterback out of nowhere will hit a long pass because the team their defense starts stacking the box against the run, and up top, touchdown, and he's an extremely efficient quarterback for that reason.
This is going to be one of those games where hopefully Iowa's defense, they're going to give up yards on the ground. They really are. But if you give them up between the 20s, much like Iowa teams do, and you get off the field for a little bit and let the offense go to work, I really think if Iowa's defense can beat this offense, then Iowa's going to look really good against their defense, because I don't really think their defense is going to be that great. They give up about 350 yards a game. They've given up 37 touchdowns this year.
Going back to when Georgia Tech's on offense, they've got an outstanding running back in Jonathan Dwyer, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think Georgia Tech's, I agree with you that their triple option should pile up some yards in this game, but I think the key here for Iowa is to make sure that they make sure that Georgia Tech doesn't find the end zone.
Yeah.
If they can limit them to field goals, that would be massive. And the other key to the game, as far as Iowa on defense goes, is to win the turnover battle.
And you know what the other thing I was thinking about with their defense? If you remember a couple years ago, I mean, Iowa they've had, a month and a half to prepare for this offense. And if you look back a couple years ago when they played Texas in the Alamo Bowl, their defense was a different defense than it was during the season that year, because all of a sudden, here's a blitzing defense. And I think Iowa's defense is going to come out. They're going to come out healthy, tough, and strong, and possibly pissed off a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. I think the thing is you give Captain Kirk 15 minutes at halftime to make adjustments, and they come out a completely different team. Imagine what he will do given a month or a month and a half to prepare for a big BCS game. They obviously, going back to what you said earlier about a bad taste in Coach Ferentz's mouth, obviously the players don't have that same feeling.
No.
But Kirk knows that he wants a better showing in this Orange Bowl versus what they did against USC.
In looking at this team, Georgia Tech now versus USC then, they're two completely different teams. USC probably should have been going for a national championship that year. I mean, I think they had one loss, and that's what kept them out, but still, I mean, they were a championship quality team. So this is going to be interesting.
I like Iowa's matchup when they're on offense versus Georgia Tech's defense. Going back to what you were saying about that, Georgia Tech's defense, it's absolutely awful. They give up a ton of yards. They give up a ton of points. I had the stat here. I think they're allowing nearly 25 points a game, which, might not sound like a whole lot, but considering they've been scoring about 45 a game, they haven't lost many games, obviously.
Yeah, if this gets into a shootout, I like Iowa's chances better than Georgia Tech's.
I think Iowa's got a chance to strike back quickly if they get down. I like Iowa's chances. They've been doing it all year anyway.
Coming back.
I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa's down early and comes back after halftime adjustments.
It would be nice to see. Well, you know what? They're going to have to make those adjustments because they've never played a team like that, like Georgia Tech. I mean, they've just never done it. And I mean, it's rare to have a team that does a triple offense. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, I mean, not many teams run that anymore. Obviously, a lot of teams have gone to the spread now, and I was seeing a lot more of that in the Big Ten than they used to. They're still seeing some of that smash-mouth football out of teams like, Michigan would be a good example of that. But most
Michigan
teams...
State,
Michigan State, sure, exactly. Penn State, and which is why Iowa matches up so well with them. So again, the key here is for Iowa on defense to stop the running game as much as they possibly can. They won't be able to stop it completely, but as much as they possibly can. Keep them out of the end zone, win the turnover battle, and with a healthy Rick Stanzi back in the lineup, I think they have a pretty good chance to win this game despite what you might hear nationally.
4-point spread on the game in Georgia Tech's favor right now. I honestly think Iowa wins by 10.
I'd be surprised if they win by that much, to be honest. I think it'll be a much closer game. I do see a chance for this becoming a shootout, and I do think Iowa's offense will come to play in this one. I see the Hawkeyes winning by 3 to 5 points, give or take.